Right, so I'm here. Welcome to the Beer of the Week Drink Along. He's Joe.
I am Joe, and you're Luke.
This week we are drinking British Steel from Garage Project.
Garage Project.
Would you say Garage Project?
I wouldn't. I thought you might, because you're like...
If you're from the Black Country, you most definitely would not say Garage Project. The Black Country is in the West Midlands in England, very close to where me and my family come from. So I was born in Birmingham. And the Black Country is a lot of the small towns around the area and bigger towns and cities, so places like Wolverhampton, Dudley, Walsall, named the Black Country after the industry there of steel foundries, of coal mines, and just lots of industry that turned the sky black and made it a bit of a hellish landscape for a long time. And the men would cheers, slake their thirsts after a long day in the foundries or in the factories with beautiful, beautiful mild. It's good beer.
It is. Yeah, it's a great style. It's something I wasn't really familiar with until a few years ago. Sort of in London, in some real ale pubs, you get a few milds on tap. And when you hear mild, because they wouldn't usually say dark mild, it's just mild. You sort of don't expect it to pour looking like this and tasting sort of so complex and biscuity. But yeah, it's a very delightful drink. Pull it out the fridge about half an hour, or maybe longer at the moment, it's pretty cold. Before drinking, it'll open up, super sort of light, bready, bit of chocolate, fruit and nut kind of thing going on. It's delightful.
Yeah, so the beer of the working man from the late 1800s onwards, in lots of areas of Britain, not just the West Midlands. So yeah, the beers would be, you'd have mild, you'd have bitter. So bitter is sort of what became pale ale and the sort of precursor of all hoppy beers and IPAs. And you might get a bit of stout, but you probably wouldn't really have stout in the Midlands, more of like a London thing. And it's low-ish alcohol. It's a mild is 3 to 4%, and it's got character to it. It's got flavour. It's tasty, but also you can just devour this stuff. It just goes down.
It's really light-bodied, so it's not cloying. It's not sweet. Just nice, kind of dry, but layers of flavour, like I said, and yeah, just really, really drinkable. Really thirst quenching.
And it's like caramel, toffee vibes.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of lovely brown malts in there. Touch of sweetness, bitterness in these styles generally would be, well, not generally, it would be Fuggles, East Kent Goldings. This is East Kent Goldings. So yeah, touch of bitterness, touch of spice. Great beer to go with food. Have you ever had faggots and peas?
I actually have, yes.
Yeah.
I feel like this just got demonetized.
Well, yeah, just that would be the perfect pairing for a beer like this. So faggots and peas are a major Black Country dish that, yeah, my parents used to eat a lot of brains faggots. I was the weird young vegetarian.
Yeah,
so,
well, I would be if my parents were making such food. No offense if they are watching.
So I've never had a faggot, which is a kind of, cause it's sort of like a rough sausage, isn't it? It's pork, obviously.
Yeah, like
with lots of
kind
gravy.
like risole-y, like, yeah.
Yeah, like brains that comes in sort of a tray.
Yeah.
And pork scratchings.
Yeah, this would go well with sort of fatty food, rich food like chilies,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Or ploughman's.
Any pub snack. Yeah,
Yeah.
ploughman's in the pub, scampi fries, anything like that. And yeah, it's a beer designed for the public house. And yeah, back in these days, people's homes were a bit shit. And that's how the great English pub came to be, as a public house, as a, what Starbucks tried to coin as the third place. It's not your home, it's not your workplace. And yeah, you knock off work, you go down the pub, and you can't really sit in the pub drinking for 6 hours if you're drinking, 8% double IPAs. But beers like this, it's, you get a gentle buzz as you keep drinking pint after pint, and it's a cheap beer to make as well, so a cheap beer to buy.
Yeah.
So yeah, just affordable liquid bread sustenance for the working class people. And you don't really see milds around. There's sort of a little bit of a, I guess they're more popular than table beers.
I would say, yeah. There was a bit of a revival when I was in the UK of them. A brewery called Boxcar
So good.
came out with a craft dark mild, fizzy in cans.
Yeah.
And that started a bit of a sort of, not movement as such, but small revival, got people talking about it, became, your favorite brewer's favorite beer sort of thing. And a few other sort of breweries in the UK were making their own versions, but sort of this came out at the same time as another one in New Zealand.
Yeah, like buses, hey?
Yeah.
I can't think of the last mild I've seen. Like, who else has done a mild in New Zealand?
Oh, I should have remembered that, but someone else like the same week this got released.
Oh, so the same week this one was. That was the it was McLeod's.
Yes,
Yeah.
Big Brum.
Big Brum.
Both like Midlands themed milds released the same week.
Yeah,
coincidentally.
and apparently, complete coincidence, nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was an interesting blog post or a beer magazine or something that was talking about mild. But yeah, it's sort of, I suppose, it's a style that's so unfashionable, it's cool in a way, and that's what we saw with Boxcar in England, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a style I've always loved. I drank a lot of this as a teenager, going to real ale pubs and getting into bitters and stouts and milds. And we brewed one with North End that was called Sin Eater. That was an oat mild, so that was a little bit beefier. That's more like 4.5%.
A lot more body in that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of a bit of a modern twist on it, whereas this is much more classic. And Kieran and North End have gone on to just make that part of their core seasonal range. They just keep brewing Sin Eater, which is cool. And perfect pub beer, really. We should probably get a keg of it for on tap here.
We should.
Yeah,
we're really short on like lowish ABV dark beer.
We have a lot of dark table
gods.
beers and various small gods, brown beers that are sub 5%, because that's clearly what we're into. I suppose a lot to say about mild, but also not a lot to say. It's like this is what I always think of when I think of a beer that's like a cup of tea. If you're having a good conversation with somebody, you're just sipping away on this, and before you know it, it's gone, and you get another, and it's not cloying, it's not bitter, it's not anything that's too punchy.
No.
But like a good digestive biscuit,
you can have multiple.
Absolutely delightful. Yeah, we're really struggling to just not smash this while we keep going.
Yeah, I feel like normally I do finish the beer on these, but I've deliberately gone slow and I've still finished this one.
Just a few gulps and it's gone.
Yeah.
And Garage Project, you may have heard of them before. They're a brewery down in Wellington, and they opened up in a petrol station in a garage, which was pretty revolutionary in 2011 when they opened up as there were no breweries in Wellington at that time, so they were the first one.
It's crazy.
Were you drinking beer around that time?
2011? No, not quite.
Really?
No.
I was drinking loads. And I remember I went down to Wellington, so during that year when they were first launching, and they did I think it was 24 beers in 24 weeks, and they brewed single keg batches that they released once a week. I think it was like on a Thursday night at Hashigozaki, and they had a beer mat where you could like rate the beer and say what you thought about it and put it in a box. And out of those 24 beers, that's what became, I think, Pinishers Weed, Angry Peaches definitely. So a handful of those beers became their sort of favourites and core range. Some were never seen again, but a really cool way to kick off and start. And as I say, it's really not that long ago to think about 2011. There wasn't a brewery in Wellington.
No.
And in very short amount of time, it just blew up. And there's breweries everywhere you turn in Wellington these days.
Yeah.
And Garage Project, they sort of march to the beat of their own drum. They've got huge goals, aspirations. They've got a very, I suppose, international outlook and also influence. And it's cool to see stuff that they work on, like the Harpy Project.
Yeah, they're like volume 9 or something now, maybe even higher.
Yeah, the beers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the,
Well, 'cause
the
I was thinking about
symposium and the hop research and everything as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the research that they started in collaboration with Freestyle Hops to develop new hops, because hops are, a huge export business for New Zealand.
Yeah, really pushing things forward.
Yeah, and stuff like the Wild Workshop.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, which is, just even that by itself, the things that happen in the Wild Workshop is just so impressive. The stuff that Dave does there with the amphora and the big fooders and blending, but just absolutely amazing, like world class wild fermented beers at the Wild Workshop. Constantly doing cool, innovative stuff. They've wrapped up the wine side of things just recently.
Yeah, they have. I don't think they were ever accepted by wine snobs. I think it's a bit harder of a market to sort of break into. You know, snobbery and all that. But
Any wine people that got into beer?
Brewed, fermentation, winemakers and beer makers.
Fantastic beer makers, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's there's that one which is a Killer Rabbit. That like it's like a brewery that releases one double IPA, but it's actually a vineyard, and it's in like quite cool bottles.
And obviously Tantalus Alibi.
Yeah. Beers. Beer people have embraced the winemakers making beers. Not around, unfortunately. There's the Garage Project Tap Room, which is just down the road from us, along the Auckland Beer Mile, which is always a good place to go and try the latest releases. You can always trust Garage Project to be pushing the boundaries, doing cool stuff, as well as like absolutely cranking out gigantic volumes of their beer. And Tiny, which I chatted to somebody recently, and that's making up a major chunk of their sales, the alcohol-free beers.
Wow.
Which is cool to see more nice options for alcohol-free beers. But it is the innovative, seasonal, one-off type things like this that I'm especially interested in. All right, anything news from you, Joe?
No, nothing from me.
Yeah, we're close to selling out of those IPA mix boxes.
Yeah. We are very close.
Yeah, you might be able to grab the last few of those. I think the dark drops might have sold out, or
dark drop, pretty much.
If there's one on the website, grab it.
A few hazy left.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy drinking this beer as much as I have. I think I need to crack another can. Cheers to Garage Project. Cheers, Joe.
Cheers.